We have another caller on the line. Good afternoon, caller. You're live.
Good afternoon, hostess and Senator Byron.
Good afternoon.
Hostess, please let me have just a short moment to ask 2 questions, and if I get the answers very directly, I'll be quickly off the phone. So please let me hold on. Now, Senator Byron, I am glad that you spoke about the small property. But the government at Parliament couldn't go any higher than 25,000. What if the property worth much more? And I'll hold on because I have one more question for you.
That is a determination, thank you, that is a determination that was made by the government that a small estate in 2015 would be a value of $25,000. If it is, for instance, that someone has property or assets worth more than that, we think that you should be able to get legal assistance that can cover that. Basically, that's what it is. At the moment, when it was $5,000, if you wanted that, you had to go to a lawyer. That is why we have lawyers in the country, and this is not a means to, in any way, cut out lawyers of work, but they are trained to assist clients to understand and interpret the law and carry out certain practices that the ordinary citizen who may not be trained in it can get assistance. And it's a determination that was made. If you look at the way in which previously, before 1985, the laws, the values had been increased, they went up at very small increments. This year is a significant increment from 5,000 to 25,000. And we feel that for people who have relatively low value assets, 25,000 is a significant increase and benefiting ordinary poor people.
Okay, caller.
No, Senator Byron, you talk a lot about freedom of information.
Yes.
And I want to know how far does freedom of information go, because the former DPP, I would like you to tell me how much money that he received and why the matter was shut down, that the public who wanted to know how much it was does not know, because it was very much in the public domain that the case had gone to court. And
yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for that question as well. The Freedom of Information Bill that has been tabled has only had a first reading. And because it is so important to our governance agenda, we feel that the people must understand exactly the scope, the limits to which freedom of information can be used, this bill can be used. It is going to be a cost, for instance, and I'll come back to that. I'll just say that in the new year, we are scheduling a series of public lectures, town hall meetings to discuss these governance bills, that people can come and ask these questions and have the benefit of counsel and others to explain and put their points of view as to the scope of the freedom of information. Let me give you an example. I speak about cost. If it is that you go to a government department and ask for a particular piece of information, the government departments have to be in a position to provide that, because this law will carry a sanction if it does not. So it has to deal with the preparation of government to be able to provide the data, and also exactly what all you can ask for. I mentioned the companion bill to it, the data protection bill that deals with privacy. For instance, should you be able to go and ask what teacher so-and-so is making? Should you be able to go and ask about people's personal business in government? Because it's freedom of information. So there are limits to these things in terms of our democratic rights. Now, as far as the matter with Mr. Sinanan's case and the question about information, freedom of information, what I would say is this, that Mr. Sinanan filed a case in court. That is a public document. And any journalist, any citizen could have gone to the court and had access to what Mr. Sinanan was asking for. In his claim, Mr. Sinanan said how much he worked for. His contract was filed. In the court case, also was a response from the Attorney General in the case, explaining it. No one, as far as I know, has said that these are the documents. These were public documents. You don't need a Freedom of Information bill for that. All it needed was a 5-cent stamp, $5 stamp, to get access to the file, to see what he asked for. I'll tell you what he asked for. Mr. Sinanan, despite the fact that there is a gag order on the order that the court had by consent, I can't tell you what the public document said. Mr. Sinanan said that he was 57 years old, or the DPP should not be there after 55. He said that his interpretation of the bill was that he could work to 60. He wanted 3 more years. Okay? Now, his contract that he provided to the court said that he made $120,000 a year. That's public. So 3 times 120,000 is 360,000. I can't go further than that. You draw the conclusion. That the government, how much the government pay? When we say he had no case, okay? We say he had no case, but there was a reason which we said why we were prepared to get it off the books as quickly as possible. On the 21st of September, the case was in court. The September assizes began on the 22nd of September. There were 50 cases pending, 32 traversed from last May. The criminal justice system, should we hold up that to fight Mr. Sinanan when he could go to the Court of Appeal, to the Privy Council? Should we hold the people of St. Kitts and Nevis ransom, trying to manage Mr. Sinanan totally? Or is it more important to have people who are locked up in jail, waiting trial for months, sometimes years, so that we can satisfy the fact that Mr. Sinanan had no case? A determination had to be made by the people who are in the government whether it was important to get rid of the case quickly so that we could have had the September assizes. If it is more important to know how much money he gets, we know he can't get more than 360 using the extrapolation, which at least I think that those who have been following the case should have been able to tell you. I hear they say he gets 5 million and 2 million and they have documents. Utterly ridiculous. And the whole speculation, to me, was something that was just mind-boggling. Because this was a very straightforward matter. And I do think it was settled in the best interests of St. Kitts and Nevis and dealt with. Just one last thing on the question. There were a number of matters that were in the court this year that have been settled. Some of them are very public. Some dealt with freedom of FM radio. I don't know what was paid. The public does not know what was paid. They dealt with high-profile political figures. But it was settled without it being revealed to the public.
Ms. Senator Byron, you would agree with this, that citizens have a right to ask a question, though?
Sure, you have a right. No, not at all.
In the answer?
Not at all. And you don't have to agree with my answer either. But I would say we had to make a judgment as to what was the most important factor. Should we get rid of this matter quickly, in the best interest of the criminal justice system? It was urgent, and we had to dispose of it.
Okay, caller, I want to thank you,
okay.
But we do have other callers on the line, so let's take another call.